Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Chris Maloney back with you for another edition of CWN Recap for Impact Wrestling Final Resolution 2020, taking place earlier tonight, just about 15 minutes ago, actually. So I'm kind of on cue. Had the original podcast set up for 11:15. And they went off the air about 15 minutes early, obviously. But yeah, it was good. Obviously, I'm tired. It's a lot of wrestling going on tonight, especially. Kind of unique as well. Some of the guys who were performing on Impact Wrestling tonight are also performing for other promotions, such as New Japan Pro Wrestling, as well as AAA. So, like I said, kind of unique. But I will run down Impact Wrestling Resolution 2020 for everybody. And I was surprised on some of my picks from their prediction show, just how accurate I was. And it looked like to me like they're setting up some feuds going forward. Some of them I was kind of surprised by. But like I said, I'll get into it right now, and then I'll talk about my predictions as I'm going as well, just to see how well I did. But I didn't do too bad tonight as far as predictions go. So anyways, like I said, Impact Wrestling presented Final Resolution 2020 tonight. That was from Skyway Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. I believe it was pre-taped. Based on how quick they were to turn around some of the action shots. So all of a sudden somebody would hit like a stunner, for example, and then like within half a second they'd show a replay of that stunner, and it was way too professional. So I'm going to safely assume that it was a taped show, not sure when, but regardless, it made sense with all the Impact Wrestling that has been taking place the past couple of weeks. But match number one, no pre-show, by the way. So right into the main show with 9 matches. But like I said, on the prediction show, if you had a credit card, debit card, email address, you could sign up for free. And, you'll enjoy the next 30 days of Impact Wrestling on Impact Plus. And I'll get more into that as I continue with the show here. But match number one, old school rules match. And this was, if Larry wins, he's a free man. But if he loses, Dreamer is going to take him downtown. So Tommy Dreamer ended up defeating Larry D. Rules of the match were this: weapons are legal, and basically there were no rules. So it's kind of an extreme rules match taking place. No AC Romero to begin with. So it was straightforward, just Dreamer versus Larry D. AC eventually comes down to the ring towards the end of the match to set up a table in the corner. Guy is absolutely huge. I mean, even just, if he goes to hit you and he barely touches you, you're probably going to end up on your butt. But just a huge dude, though. And he made Dreamer and obviously Larry D look small. But he sets up a table in the corner. As he's about to basically run from one side to the other, to squash Tommy Dreamer, Johnny Bravo hits ringside, stop AC. So he basically grabs his ankle as he's about to run. Johnny gets into the ring, basically hits a double clothesline onto both members of Triple XL there. No effect whatsoever. Bravo then gets squashed. So that move that normally that they miss, where they get the one guy in the middle and all of a sudden they end up crunching each other. They end up hitting Johnny Bravo with it. So he's down and out at that point. AC then goes and he misses the table spot and he ends up destroying it. Dreamer grabs a kendo stick at this point and uses the kendo stick to get a DDT and then basically gets the pin. So Larry D is off to the slammers, so to speak. And they didn't play on it too much other than Josh Matthews is continuously reminding us that Larry D's in a jail cell someplace there in Nashville, but it'll be interesting to see Impact Wrestling coming up this coming Tuesday to see how it plays out. Like I said, if they set it up Boss Man Mountie style, I'm a fan of it just because it was comical back in the day. But after the match, Dreamer cuffs Larry, and then Larry's basically apologizing to AC, but it is what it is. So Larry D is off to the slammer. So that was that. Backstage promo, first of the night for Josh Matthews, Madison Rain. They kind of, get on the television there and welcome us officially to Impact Final Resolution 2020, and then basically run down some of the card, and then we go back to the next match. So match number 2, Havoc and Nevaeh against the Sea Stars. That's Ashley Vox and Delmi Exo. It's a unique name, but I'll get used to that one as well. Josh Matthews during the match announces Impact Wrestling Genesis 2020 taking place January 9th on 2021. So for anybody that signed up for Impact Wrestling tonight, for a free 30-day trial, you'll be able to watch Genesis 2020 on January 9th for free. You just have to make sure to cancel your membership before the end of the 30 days, or you will get charged I think it's like $10 a month here in Canada. It's not too bad. But like I said, Josh Matthews promoted Genesis during the match. basically, normal tag team match, just back and forth between the two teams. And then Nevaeh pins EXO after a double team cutter. So that was the match number 2 there. Backstage promo now, we see Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz, and they get the cash. So obviously the cash is in the building, which will play out during the event as well. But obviously Kiera and Tasha still holding on to that cash with a firm grip. Mixed tag team match comes up next. We got Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K. They end up defeating, Eddie Edwards and Alicia. Intergender rules taking place apparently because the ref wasn't telling, basically one guy to get out or one female to get out, so to speak. But they didn't say anything at all about the intergender rules before the match, but end up being that way. Multiple selfies, cheap shots from the heels during the match. So obviously Tennille and Caleb. At one point, Caleb, I think, come off the top rope and he still had the cell phone in his hand, which was kind of unique there. Alicia goes off. Alicia goes for a top rope dive. The lights darken. The ICU logo appears on the screen. Lights come back on. Basically, Alicia's back on, still on that top turnbuckle there. Tennille attacks. Tennille hits the spotlight kick. Eddie gets held by Caleb from the outside, and then Tennille pins Alicia. So during the match itself, we see the ICU logo. Nothing to do with Sami Callihan, though. Then post-match, Sami Callihan comes in, sneaks into the ring, attacks Edwards with a bat, a huge bat shot once again, lays him out. Then he lays him out with a package pile driver. He goes to attack Alicia, but the referees and security guards come down. The only thing I didn't like about this spot here is nobody got in the ring. So basically, it was Sami Callihan with Alicia. He's setting her up for the package pile driver. Like I said, security as well as the referees had come down, but they were surrounding the ring. So Callihan could have did whatever the heck he wanted to, but he decided to leave the ring instead. And that was that. So obviously they're going to set up, I think, honest to God, they're going to set up an Alicia versus Sami Callihan match eventually. It'll probably be like one of those things where, if you guys remember, Katie Forbes and RVD, and I think it was Callihan as well. And I think it was, if Callihan lost, Katie Forbes got 5 minutes with him. So I think they're going to probably play it out the same way with this. It'll go down to Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan in the match. And if basically Callihan wins, husband Eddie Edwards can't protect his wife. And, Callihan gets his match with Alicia. I think that's the way it's going to end up there. But we'll see. Backstage promo, GM Miller is at the bus. So that bus came into play tonight. Where am I here? Callis comes out of the bus there, states that Kenny Omega won't be part of tonight's show, and then states he's there visiting family. So Omega reference right there. Next match is what I put for the cash match, featuring Kiera Hogan as special guest referee, Tasha Steelz as the special ring announcer, and then Hernandez defeats Falaba by pinfall. And it was a comical match. I'm loving the gimmick of both Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan, just outside of the ring, just as personality-wise. Tasha Steelz was announcing Falaba coming down to the ring, she said, straight out of a bamboo tree, he thinks he's a panda, but he's more like Winnie the Pooh. Kind of laughed at that one. And then Madison goes to Josh Matthews at one point. She goes, you better watch out, or Tasha and Kiera are going to take your job too. And the Josh responds, well, they're more than welcome. So that was that made me laugh as well. Hard-hitting match, though. Where am I here? Hernandez still very agile for as big and as older as he is. And I don't know if that made sense, as older as he is, but he's been around a while. I'll say that. But he ends up hitting a standing dropkick at one point, a dive over the top rope. Balor with a 2 count at one point in the match, thanks to Kiera pausing to shake her butt in between the count, not making that up. So again, like the comedy between the two girls there, played into the match. Falaba then argues with Kiera. Hernandez takes advantage. Hernandez hits a top rope splash for the pin, and then basically Hernandez in the ring waiting for Kiera as well as Tasha to hand out the money. Steelz goes to get the money out of her fanny pack. Fanny pack played into this match as well. It's not there. Hernandez grabs some weapons out of his knee pad, and the Kiera and Steelz run off. And basically Hernandez, holds up his arms in the entrance ramp and then leaves. And that was the end of that. So obviously it's going to play out Impact Wrestling coming up this coming week. Backstage promo, again. Gia Miller is backstage at this point with Chris Bay, so he cuts a promo there. Next match of the night, and this was absolutely surprising. Eric Young with Joe Doring defeats Rhino by pinfall. That wasn't the surprising part. Joe Doring interference distractions during the match. Of course, not as much as I thought he would, but he was he's doing his job ringside to make his presence known. Young hits a moonsault during the match, which at his age, and I think he's early 40s, still looks like he's in his early 20s. So a good-looking moonsault from Eric Young, but he ended up missing. Rhino was moving slowly, so I don't know if age is catching up to him. I don't know if he was hurt going into the match, but whatever the case is, Rhino didn't look too good this match. He looked winded, and maybe something going on health-wise, whatever the case may be. If that's the case, so wish him well. But he did not look like the normal Rhino that we're used to. Ref bump at one point. Joe Doring attempts to enter the ring, but Rhino hits a low blow on him. I think he kicked the ropes, end up landing between the legs of Joe Doring, so he's not relevant at this point. The Deaners hit the ring, and I think it called that on the pre-show. And then all of a sudden, or the prediction show, Cody states he's not a nobody out loud, and then nails Jake with Eric Young's match, and then Cody leaves the ring. So again, I think if you go back and listen to that prediction show that I did earlier on today, I think I might have called it Cody Deaner heel turn, but that was a shot in the dark. So for Cody to actually do it, I think Eric Young's starting to get a faction there. And obviously Joe Doring being part of it, and Eric Young and Cody Deaner now. It looks like Cousin Jake's on the outside. But if anybody knows about Cousin Jake here in Ontario, he goes by the name of Jake something. And just heard a loud thud. That is the joys of a live show here. But I'm looking around and everything looks okay. But guys, I'm going to take a quick pause here. Just give me 1 sec. I'm just going to see what the heck that was. And if I can. And I can't. So not hearing any more noise, so I will leave it at that. My apologies, guys, but there was something that seems that fell over. It is, I'll tell you this, it is Christmas time. And, with that being said, there's ornaments and bags and everything else kicking around. So, the TV's still standing, which is a good thing, but the joys of a live show. So where was I here? Talking about Eric Young. So Cody Deaner looks to have gone to the dark side, so to speak. Jake something, like I had said, anybody in Ontario knows him as a singles wrestler. He is a good, gifted wrestler, a lot younger than Cody Deaner. So it'll be interesting to see the two of those guys feud. So I will leave that at that. Backstage promo next. We got Scott D'Amore, the door guy who's in charge of letting people out to the bus, and Carl Anderson. And D'Amore's chewing out the door guy. Carl Anderson comes up. He goes, "I'm pretty sure I'm on that list." And basically he's on the list. So Carl Anderson now goes to visit Kenny Omega in the bus there, which we'll play into later on. Final Defeat Rohit Challenge of 2020 is up next. For the X Division Championship, Manic defeats Rohit Raju by pinfall to become the new champion. Kind of called this one as well, but they kind of preloaded it on Impact Wrestling there the past month or so when Scott D'Amore said to TJP, he goes, you just can't be TJP, but you can kind of be anybody else. And then as well, the promo that happened between TJP as well as Rohit Raju on Impact this past week. And you kind of thought it was going to play into it. But yeah, Manic came out. So Manic music hits. He's perched up on the top rope. So as Rohit's distracted by the music, he turns around. Manic attacks him. A very good back and forth match. It wasn't Manic 100%. It was probably like close to probably a 60-40, even 50-50 between the two guys. It looked like Rohit could have won this. The ref almost gets bumped multiple times. Manic gets the advantage, rolls up Raju, and then gets the win. So Manic is the new champ. And they were playing along on Twitter back and forth. So Rohit calling BS and D'Amore playing into it, and then TJP playing into it, and the whole Manic references online as well. So that was pretty cool to see. From there, backstage promo again, we got Gia Miller and Moose. So typical promo there. Next, we got Impact Knockouts Championship match. Deonna Purrazzo with Kimberly defeats Rosemary by pinfall. So this was surprising. I put back and forth match. Rosemary hits the red wedding. Kimber pulls the ref out of the ring. Taya chases Kimber, and basically, no. I'm so curious about what the heck that noise was. My apologies, guys. Taya chases Kimber, though. Purrazzo hits Cosa Nostra to get the pin, and she is still champion. Post-match, Kimber gets in the face of Taya. Taya pushes her down, chases Purrazzo from the ring, and looks like we're going to basically get a feud between Taya Valkyrie as well as Deonna Purrazzo going forward there, which I'm a fan of because, you've got the gifted Taya Valkyrie, who's Canadian, by the way, and then Deonna Purrazzo, who's gifted. So from there, backstage promo, Omega, Callis, and Anderson are in the bus. Very big references to Gunner as well as the Machine Gun. So they hype up Carl Anderson. With that being said, he takes off, says, it might take a couple minutes, but I'll be back, and then we'll do the beverages, so to speak. So he takes off, and that's the end of that segment. Grudge match time. Carl Anderson defeats Ethan Page with Josh Alexander by pinfall. And final moments of the match, Alexander attempted to interfere, blocked by Anderson. Anderson with the stun gun for the victory. No big LG at all. Post-match, Page states to Alexander that everything's going to be fine. He's basically pleading with him. Alexander takes off the North jacket, doesn't toss it down, just kind of takes it off, leaves the ring. And then Page pleads into the camera that if Josh, if you're watching, everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. And he looked kind of like he was about to cry, but he played it up, and then he played it up online as well. So it looks like it may be the end of the North. I guess we're going to find out probably this coming Tuesday. Main event time coming up. So Rich Swann, Chris Bay, final moments of the match. Bay goes for the Art of Finesse, but Swann blocked it, and the way he blocked it, he ended up doing a handstand. So as Chris Bay was coming down, you think Swann's out, but he landed a handstand and just kind of backed up from the move, which was actually kind of cool to see. From there, he hits a deep kick, gets a 2 count on Chris Bay, hits a deep kick again, goes up onto the ropes, hits the Phoenix Splash, and gets the pin. And then post-match, Moose comes down to the ring with the TNA Championship, picks up the Impact title, hands it to Swann, and then leaves the ring. So it's like he comes down to the ring, picks up the title, says, I can do damage if I want to do damage, but here's your title. Kind of like, line in the sand, so to speak. And then Moose takes off, and that's the way the show ends with Rich Swann celebrating there. So as I always do for every recap show. Sorry, I was going to say post prediction show, but recap show. That noise is still going to be bugged. But I'll have to fill everybody in on weekly to find out what the heck that was after I'm done with the show here. But as I do every as I do every recap show, we got the match of the night as well as the wrestler of the night. Match of the night is this. I did it with Ethan Page and Carl Anderson. Match was just back and forth. Page had the advantage most of the match, but it was just a great match, hard-hitting match. Both guys are absolutely gifted. It kind of sucks to see Ethan Page leaving Impact Wrestling, but I got to give the match of the night to Ethan Page taking on Carl Anderson there. Wrestler of the night, of course, has to go here to Manic. Cody Deaner is a close second, but he didn't actually wrestle. He just came down to the ring. So wrestler of the night goes to Manic and his win of the Impact Wrestling Championship there. Be interesting to see where Rohit Raju goes from here, because he did sign a new deal not too long ago. But like I said, wrestler of the night is going to be Manic there. So guys, that was Impact Wrestling Final Resolution, and it was a good show. And like I said, if anybody signed up tonight, they're going to be able to watch Genesis taking place on January 9th, 2021. That's a Saturday. That will be on Impact Plus as well. And then don't forget January 16th on pay-per-view, Hard to Kill. And my thoughts are we're going to get to see Kenny Omega in the ring, in the Impact Wrestling ring, wrestling for one of those two championships, whether it be the Impact Wrestling Championship or whether it be the Impact World Championship. So either way, it's Kenny Omega on the Impact Wrestling pay-per-view in January of 2021, which is absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to see that. So guys, as always, check me out at Chris Maloney, CWN, Twitter, Facebook, as well as Reddit. You can check me out there. We will be back this coming Friday. So 6 days away, we're going to do episode number 18 of CWN Weekly. We'll have guests lined up, so just letting you guys know that right now. And that will be 3 p.m. on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. So check that out if you get a chance this coming Friday. Like I said, December 18th for episode number 18. And that's insane. December 18th already, 1 week away from Christmas. So that'll be coming up this coming Friday. But guys, if you listened or watched the show, thank you very much. I'm going to go find out what that noise was. I'll fill everybody in on Friday what that the noise was. The joys of live podcasting, so to speak. But yeah, that is it until Friday. So until then, thanks, guys. Hope you enjoy your week, and we'll see everybody on Friday for CWN Weekly episode number 18. Thanks, and take care, guys.